Alright, we're in the car. We got the turbo light hooked up there. I'm going to turn off this radio. There we go. So the turbo light's really just a fuel pump indicator now. It lets me know that the fuel pump's working. Since there's no turbocharger. Pressure's at about 50 pounds. Temperature's at 150 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm just looking down at the Holly thing over here. It even tells you your miles per gallon, which is pretty neat on one of the display screens that it's got. Which way to go? Found out the hard way that there's a cop that lives around the corner from me. Ran out onto the street thinking I was going to gun it. For some reason, I just was putting along, and sure enough, there he is running out onto the street, but he is running out on the street for nothing. It's like, hey buddy, you got the wrong guy. I didn't do anything. I don't think he was on duty. School zone over here. Roads are a little wet. We had a little torrential downpour a little while back, maybe an hour ago. I got the T-tops on. Get a lot of, you want to sell it? No. Street lights, can't do much about them. They love putting up street lights. Behaves itself nicely on the road. I got this guy in the Beamer behind me now. I'm not racing on this street, but I have to shake him away. So yeah, so it behaves really nicely cruising around. I'm doing about 25 miles an hour residential street. I'm basically at idle, 1,000 RPMs. 1,000 RPMs, 40 kilometers an hour. Pretty neat. messing with the camera, so I can't really shift gears. So I just got it in drive and in overdrive shifting on its own. One thing I noticed, if I manually shift this thing and I take it to 7,000 RPMs and I stick it into second, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fucking seconds later it shifts into second. If I leave it in drive and I floor it from a stop and it's in first gear, it shifts automatically, no problem. Which brings me to the conclusion that I think I need a shift kit. I don't care about second and third so much, but first and second I want it to shift when I tell it to shift, not 5 seconds later. Or I gotta calculate shifting it to second gear before I'm at the RPM I want to be at, which is really stupid. I tried adjusting the line pressure on the transmission. You could do it with the Holley Terminator X Max system that controls the transmission, and it's kind of confusing because it uses bar graphs instead of percentages. So you got to mess around with the bar graph related to the throttle position sensor position and a few other parameters, which makes it really complicated. I don't have a laptop. Everything I've done with adjustments is on this little 5-inch pad. So it just goes to prove that it does work. You can't adjust your car and it does run perfectly fine. Idles properly, stops, it doesn't jump, jag, or anything when I'm stopped at the lights. It's not pulling. Mind you, I got a Brian Tooley Racing Stage 2 cam. I'll give you the duration numbers. It's 225.5 at 50 on the intake, and it's 238 on the exhaust side. I think it's 600 lift, or around 600 lift on the intake and exhaust. Don't quote me on that. Pretty close, with a 113 degree lobe separation angle. On a 416 stroker motor, it's very tame, this cam. It's like having a stage 1 cam in an LS3. If I went to a stage 3 cam in this thing, it would run like a stage 2 cam would on an LS3. Of course, with way more power. Just with extra displacement and compression, I'm getting, I'd say, about 80 horsepower more. Got the AC compressor installed. It's a Sandin 508 style compressor. I got the lines all hooked up. I charged it up yesterday, and unfortunately I got a leak right at the condenser, right at where the soft line hooks up to the hard line. It's an easy fix. I'm just waiting for a compression fitting so I can fix that and then recharge the system again. I put a new dryer accumulator in. I put a new filter that goes inside the line, and a new compressor. The compressor has oil in it already. I checked that out, make sure. And yeah, I charged it up. It started blowing cold air, and then I started hearing a leak sound. And obviously, I found it right away because it was right in my face, right where it connects at the top of the rad on the passenger side. So once I get that sorted out of the way, I've got my AC going. It's got a little bit of a cammy sound to it. Now you see a lot of YouTube videos with guys with stage 2 and stage 3 cams, and they're idling their cars to see what they sound like. They're a lot louder than mine, but obviously those guys took their catalytic converters off. I got two cats. They're high flowing cats. They got a metal core instead of a ceramic core. I think they're made by it's one of the muffler companies. I really can't remember right at the second. Stainless steel casing and all that. Nice small cats. They do muffle the sound of the cam quite a bit though, and to be honest with you, the car's loud enough. I like it the way it is. It's got a nice rumble to it. It's not too loud. Forget about going through the drive-thru at McDonald's. They can't hear you in the speaker. I've tried that a couple of times. Didn't work out. But if you go through a coffee drive-throughs, no problem. The microphone's a little bit higher up. Doing anything fancy with this particular video, just a little cruise around. I really got to get myself a damn camera mount, because I can't really drive this thing the way I want to while I'm holding the camera in my hand. If I don't hold the camera in my hand, the camera's only aiming in one spot all the time, which kind of sucks. I really want to get a passenger in here and he can do the camera work while I drive. That's the ultimate. Anyways, I'm going to pull into my driveway when I get to the house. I'll show you guys the engine bay and the compressor and all that. And the lines are all hooked up. And I'll show you where it's leaking. It's in the worst possible spot as far as repairing it. If it was in any other spot, I could probably put JB Weld on that thing and get away with it. But because it's where it is, it's right where the flange nut is. So it's cracked. The line is actually cracked right where the flange nut goes. So there's no way to put anything there other than to cut it right off. Put in a compression fitting, lengthen it out a little bit and get another end. I'm going to have to go to the records and see if I can find an old 1980s to 1990 or 1975 to 1986 GM vehicle with a condenser. They all have the same size line. I just got to chop off the end and then I can put it onto the other end of the compression fitting. Or if I'm lucky, the other end of the compression fitting, the line will actually screw right into it without me doing anything else. So that's what I'm kind of hoping for. Just looking at it in the picture, it might work, it might not. That's the problem when you buy things online. You're not really sure if it's going to work or not until you actually got it in your hands. I've had a few disappointments, and I've had a few surprises. And my buddy over here, the guy won $9.5 million since he drove by his house. Lucky guy, $9.5 million. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Anyways, we're back at the ranch. I'm gonna just leave it running. I ordered a set of halogen headlights, a set of 4. They're like the sealed beam units that I have on it now, but they're not sealed beam. They're actually like the old Bosch ones where you can take the bulb right out, put a different halogen bulb in if you like. Or you can put in one of those, I forget what they're called, HID or whatever they are, headlights that they got, the really high bright ones. Okay, here we go with the hood again.